Hello everybody, this is Ben from Feeling to Wolf, and today I'm working on my next Unravel DIY tutorial, this time with 4 points on his head. It's pretty nice. I don't have the original that I was using for a template. I kind of had to improvise with a 3-pointed one to trace over that. But despite the horns not being, or the points not being exact, it is pretty close. The only difference is the 2 points in the center rather than just the one in the middle. So I'm gonna start doing that, and I apologize if it's been a while since I've made my last video. It's actually been quite a couple weeks now. I'm really sorry about that, folks. I've been busy, and I kind of, after that part where I was so busy, I kind of lost all motivation that I had to do this. But today I'm going to grind through, like, push myself to do this video just for you guys. Like, I know you probably have so many questions as to how to do the 4-pointed ones, like in this drawing here. But I'm going to do what I can to get started, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. I didn't have the original template for the skeletons that I've shown you in all my other videos. I kind of lost them when I was cleaning my room, so I kind of had to do it from scratch. I did have a lot of it in memory. I don't think the head is right, but I'll explain to you a little bit how that works. I basically did the same thing as the 2-pointed head, only this time I added a centerpiece with 2 parts sticking out, like, let me see. There was a long piece going this way. I bent it up. I kind of looped it around the center of the head shape from like with these 2 that I made. In the centerpiece, I connected the ear, these 2 points here. So I looped it through there, and I wound it on both sides. And I had it sticking up on either side, and then I put a centerpiece in between those to make it slightly more stable. Today I'm just using light blue yarn. My camera's not focusing. I'll just bring this here. I'm using that color because it's been a while since I've used it. So I'm gonna get some of that started by pulling out some yarn that I'll use to do the head. And I'll show you how I wrap the yarn around that in a moment. Just give me a second to tie a knot. Trim off the excess. Okay, so I got the knot tied on here. Now I'll begin to wind around the head to get this looking the way it's supposed to. So I'm starting off in between the center points on the head. Just do that a couple times. Make sure I get plenty on there to cover up the wire there. Now I'll go on the outside of this ear and in between those, the outside of that point, and in between these 2 points. I don't know why I keep saying ears. I know in my previous videos I've said I'm not gonna call them ears anymore, but I don't know, it's just kind of easier to call them ears than points. I don't know why. I might just have to roll with the ears. Like, I don't know. It would sound weird out of context, but as long as you don't take me calling them ears out of context, like 3 or 4 ears on these Yarnies, we should be okay. So I wrapped the head like that. I went in between these ears, and I did that, and then I did this, like between the body parts and the middle ears there. Now I need to wrap around the ears, pretty much. So let me get started on that. point that down, so the pointy end will be covered up and the yarn won't slip out. You have to point the other ears away as you're working on one of them so that they don't poke you or anything while you're going around and around the ear you're working on. As you guys know, I like to have them at a cone shape, like this one here. He has like a cone shape on both his ears. I'm gonna do a recap on how I do that. I basically start at the bottom, work my way up, and at a certain point I go back down to the bottom, then I go back up and stop a little bit lower than when I was before, then go back down. Yeah, I need more slack. Okay, there we go. Alright, now go a little closer. Do it again. It may not show after a couple times, so you might have to just, it might look sloppy, so just do a little coat around it if you want to. And that's one ear done. Now I'm gonna work on one of the middle ears, so that means I gotta bend these away from it. I realize that they're a little shorter, but I don't know where I went wrong with that. I'll try and work on it as I'm going. Like, I don't know, maybe, oh, there's the problem. You kind of have to have these the same length. I didn't do that because I was in a hurry to get this done. Like, because I'm in a rush because I haven't done one of these in a while and I don't want you guys to feel like I abandoned you or anything like that. I'm just trying to get this done so that you have some content from my channel and you didn't subscribe for nothing or anything like that. So let me see. Go like that. Go like that. Like that. And wrap around completely. I'll do that some more. Get some slack real quick. Basically, to get the slack, I'm just pulling out of this yarn ball a lot of yarn and just letting it sit behind me as I'm winding this. So you're not missing much when I do that. It's just me pulling some slack out of that big yarn ball that's behind the yarn I'm working on, like this one. That's basically what you're not seeing. I might move it out of the way actually. So blend some more. Let me do a full coat on, oh wait, I forgot. I'm gonna cut this part out of the video. I kind of forgot to work on the ear. Like, yeah, I may have to edit this part out or maybe put like a little something in there to let you know that I had to rewind a bit. Okay, let me get this started. In fact, cut. Okay, so if you guys are at this part, that was a large chunk of footage I had to cut out because I'm gonna admit to you guys, I did have to correct the ear because I wound it up without doing the little bending trick on the end to make sure that there was no point sticking out. So we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen and go along with what we're doing right now. We wrap this and basically do what we've been doing. I'm gonna do that. I'll do this like I did with the other one. I'll bunch it up at certain points, wrap around like that, and at a certain point I'm gonna bunch it up in a way like I've been doing, what's like a cone. Like I'll go up a certain height, like a certain length on this, and I'll go back a certain length. And I'll just keep going back and forth until I get the shape that I want. That's pretty much how I'm doing this. And if you've been following along, you'll find that's a very, very good technique because look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, let me just adjust See? That looks good. And none of this yarn at the ends are going to fall out. I've done a pretty good job making sure it doesn't. I will try and like I play test all these, like I play with them a little bit and like fidget with them in my hands, like help have them strike poses and stuff like that, and make sure that they're nice and sturdy. And I test almost every pose ability I can think of that they would do in the game, so that way when you're doing stuff like that, like out in your garden or some, or in the backyard, or just in your living room, like posing him on stuff, so that way he looks like he's doing adventures. I pose them ahead of time. I pre-pose them ahead of time, so that way I can see any flaws or any misplaced yarn, so I can just go back and add some more yarn. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. So you all know how I'm going to do the arms and the legs, so I'm going to skip on to that. I'm going to skip the arms, and then I'll do skip the legs, and this is pretty much it. I'll show you the finished product in a second. Alright folks, so I finished the arms and legs, and I connected the two halves of the torso. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. I noticed that some people don't exactly like how you can unravel the body. Like some people just tie it off with a knot, but that's not exactly the most secure way to finish one of these guys off when you're trying to make them not unravel. Like, let me show you how I do it. Like, this is the same technique that the original maker of the game and the character in general, Unravel and Unravel 2 by E3. Very talented people, by the way. I recommend looking up the game, and if you haven't played it, go ahead and play it from the first level to the end and treat yourself. So let me just show you real quick. I cut that a bit, and I grab this. Like, this is my little trick where I thread the needle with this little hooky thing that I stick through a little loop and just pull the yarn out as I hook that. So now we're threaded, and watch what I do here. He uses a paper clip in his tutorial, the maker of Unravel, but I tend to prefer a sewing needle for yarn. Basically, I just wrap around a bunch of times, sometimes in different areas. I like to work my way up to the head, so that way, oops. Well, give me a second. I'm gonna do one final stitch through the head, because that's where the most yarn is and it's very tight in there. I'm gonna go through the head and out the top. There. So now it has very little chance of slipping out, because the yarn inside the head is very tight fitted, so after you go through the head, it won't come out. And the body's nice and firm, very sturdy and solid. Now, we got that done. I want to sew the eyes on. Okay, so he's all done. He's got his eyes on, and he's looking pretty good. Like, compared to the original I made, like, he's looking pretty good. Like, compared to the height and everything, you can kind of see they're very close, and I like that. Like, I try to make them look as similar in height as possible, so that way, like, there's not too big a difference besides the color and the head shape or the body type. But anyway, yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe and leave a like down below, and I hope you have a good day. Peace.